Alright, welcome again everybody. We got 4 first timers to this raid, and then 1 person who's done it once before a while ago. Um, we're going to be going over exactly how this raid works. Need everybody to step up to where I am though, past the sort of the line that's sort of that line lets you know where you need to be in front of. There's a blue barrier that comes up and will lock people out just behind us toward the door. Hey, Ani, welcome. I was just about to start explaining things, so come on in whenever you get here. So this is an arena raid. That the whole raid takes place basically right here in front of us. There aren't really any other zones. We're not going to be traveling long distances like Caught in the Web or Tower of Despair or something. It's all right here. And the way this is going to work, and this is heroic raid. This is we're doing it on elite, so it's a level 16 raid, and there are a lot of epic level 10s in here, so it's going to be really easy. This event is just about showing you how this raid works. It's totally doable at level even with a short-handed group. So when we step forward, the Reaver will activate, and this is a timed raid, by the way. You have 20 minutes to beat down the Reaver and do the things you gotta do to complete the raid. So we'll be stepping forward and activating the Reaver, and we're just gonna pull him off to the side. Throughout this raid, we don't want to hang out in the center of the zone. We really want to be off to the side, and we'll be off to the left. That's where most groups pull them. And the reason why you don't want to hang out in the middle is because the Reaver does an anti-gravity effect periodically, and he's going to toss you up in the ceiling, and it's hard to see from here, but if you look up toward the ceiling, you'll see that there's a hole up in the middle. And when he tosses you up, if you're not toward the edge, there's a lot of things that can sort of bounce you towards that hole, and there's a bunch of nasty spikes up there. And if you were doing this at level, those spikes can be pretty painful. Or if even if you're over level and you don't have good PRR or evasion or something, they can still be pretty nasty. So stay out of the center of the zone. And we're going to be beating the Reaver down to about maybe 10% health. And we don't want to kill the Reaver right away. It's really important. If we were just to go in there and beat him down right away, we would fail the fight. If you also look up at the ceiling, you're going to see like some orbs. Some of them are actually skulls. Big floating orbs. There are 9 of them. Periodically throughout the Reaver fight, he's going to basically like shoot a bolt of electricity up there, and it'll get those orbs spinning. And we need all 9 of those orbs to be spinning before we can progress to the next part of the raid. And when he lights the orbs, he lights them randomly. I've heard that there are ways to get him to light certain ones. I don't know if that's true, and if it is, I have no idea how to do it. As far as I know, it's just random which one gets lit. And when the corner ones are lit, the orbs in the corner, a bunch of air elementals will spawn and come over and give us a hard time. They knock us down and stuff. But AoEs and insta-kills and stuff can take care of those. And sometimes this part of the raid can drag on because he just, like I said, it's as far as I know, which one gets lit is random, and sometimes he just wants to keep relighting the same ones over and over. And you can get like one in the corner that he just never seems to want to light up. So because it's a timed raid, that can make things a little bit tricky. So we're going to beat the Reaver down to about 10%, and then he's going to, once it gets low like that, he's going to actually cast a fly spell on some people, and you can actually fly around. It's pretty slow, but if you're new to the game, you may have never flown before. There are very few instances in the game where you actually get to fly. It's basically kind of like swimming through the air. But what we need to happen at that point is somebody with fly will need to fly up into that center hole up top, and then they need to navigate their way through a simple maze of spikes over to the west. And then there's this room that has a lever up there, and that lever has to be pulled before the Reaver dies. Or I guess it has to be pulled period. Technically it could be pulled after he dies, but usually you want to pull it before he dies to make sure that it is indeed pulled and nothing goes wrong. If the Reaver is killed and that lever isn't pulled, we cannot complete the raid. We cannot progress to the next zone. There's just a little room off to the side. There's a blue barrier you can kind of see if you look over to the left, and that barrier will come down once the Reaver is dead and that lever is pulled. And there's a puzzle over there that we have to do. Also, when you die, you're going to be sent to the penalty box. So we can't raise you. You're not just going to stay here. You're actually going to be, your soul stone is going to be teleported away to the penalty box, which is sort of up top. And if you look to the right along the wall, up about halfway, you'll see there's a blue barrier. And that's the penalty box. So the dead people can actually look out and see what's happening, but you can't participate. But there's a way to get the dead people out, and they would come out at the end, but you can actually get them out before the end if you have some extra bodies, some extra people that have fly. If you fly up into those spikes in the ceiling in the middle, up into that hole up there, and if you go to the east and navigate through a simple maze of spikes, there's another room with a different lever that's actually the penalty box, and you can let those soul stones out, and that drops the soul stones to the ground, and then they can be raised. So we're going to beat the Reaver down to 10%, wait till somebody gets fly, they're going to go up and get the lever. After the lever's pulled, we'll kill the Reaver, and again we're waiting for all 9 orbs to light up before we kill the Reaver too. And once we kill the Reaver, the way to the puzzle room to the left will be open. There's a puzzle that's like an old game called Mastermind, like a board game, which I've never played, but I'm told that's what it's like. I don't actually know how the puzzle works. I always just use a solver. And you can go to cubicleninja.com, and there's a solver for a bunch of DDO puzzles. And if you don't have that website, let me get the URL for you because it's really good to bookmark. That has a lot of nice goodies for DDO in there. So if you don't have that site already bookmarked, I would highly recommend you taking a moment to do that. And then we have to do that puzzle. We have to complete the puzzle. Then the raid is complete, and that's it. It's a pretty straightforward raid. Does anybody have any questions before we get started? You don't really need a tank in this raid, especially if you're doing it at epic level. But if you're doing it at heroic, it can be helpful, especially if you have people with lower hit points in the group. But we're just going to take them over to the left and beat them down. Also, once we step forward, I mentioned the barrier is going to come up behind us. You never want to hang out near the barrier because it does drain your spell points. Also, don't ever detour in this raid because it will take you behind the barrier and you'll be locked out. You won't be able to get your loot. Let's go ahead and get some buffs and then we'll get started. And I'm going to talk us through all that. I know it's a lot to absorb. I'm going to talk us through the whole thing as we're doing it too. So don't stress if you're not sure what's happening. Alright, everybody step forward and just go all over to the left against the wall. And just start beating on the Reaver. Like I said, we just want to make sure that we do not kill him. We don't want to take him past about 10%. And since this is a heroic raid and he's a heroic raid boss, we'll be able to do that actually pretty quickly. So it's going to be beating him down, for a couple of minutes and then sitting around waiting for him to light all the orbs. Like I said, it can be dangerous to be out there in the middle. It is much better to bring him over to the wall. So once he starts doing his anti-gravity effect, you can get tossed up and be a little painful. So you can see he just shot a bolt of lightning up, or a ball of lightning up, and he lit one of the orbs that's spinning now. Yes, good point. I forgot to mention that. He, if you're fighting him, he'll actually give you a buff, and I think it's called static charge. And if you get, every time you get it, it increases like the power of the charge. And once you get, I think it's the major charge, your spell points actually regenerate really fast if you have that. So if you ever come in here, at level, especially if you're short-handed, then that can be really helpful actually. Death just got sucked up into the center there. But he's just fine. Also, if you look on the wall to the north, you'll see some runes, some lighted runes that are sort of counting down. That's actually the timer. I'm hoping to get fly myself and go up for purposes of the video. Thanks for offering, Ani. Just make sure you don't do any AoEs when we're fighting these air elementals. We don't really want to do any more Reaver DPS. If he dies by accident, like I said earlier, we'll fail the raid. I'll do the puzzle too. Hopefully I don't blow us up. If you don't do the puzzle in time, you only have so many tries to get the right solution. And if you don't get it in time, or you don't get it, within the 10 or 12 tries, whatever you get, then you blow up. And you fail the raid. And I've actually blown up a raid before. It's pretty embarrassing when it happens. But I admit that I have done it. Yeah, I can fly up there and fly back. It's not a problem. If you take a look up, folks that are new, you can see that a bunch of the orbs are spinning now. We just have, let's see, one in the center and one in the middle north that need to be lit. Does anybody know at which point he starts dishing out fly? Is it like when a certain number of the orbs are lit? I never really paid attention. Is it? Oh, it's all orbs. Okay, I thought he did it before they were all. Volendrung, I love the look that you have on this on that tune. It's like a little Oktoberfest dwarf. That's great. Bavarian guy. Okay, so we just have the middle one to go. So he's being pretty cooperative today. Oh, it looks like some folks already went up. And oh, you're just up in the piking spot. No, no, you're not. You're up top, aren't you? Okay, all orbs are lit. So now we're waiting for. We're waiting to get fly. We don't kill him yet. Yeah, don't go up there. I really want to get it for the video. Hopefully he'll give me fly soon. You know what? Actually, I don't want to risk running out of time, so go ahead and just, you can fly up and get the lever. I actually have another video that shows me flying up there, so I'll just link it in the video for this. You can go ahead and, if you're new to this, go ahead and get around the Reaver right now, and maybe he'll give you fly, and you can just see what that's like. It's kind of fun. One mistake here that people that are newer to this raid will make is when they go up, when they get fly and they go up into those spikes to go get the lever, they'll accidentally fly to the east. And like I said, there's a lever over there. And so they'll get up there and they'll be like, okay, the lever's pulled, go ahead and kill, but they pulled the wrong lever. It's really important that you fly up and go to the west to get the kill lever. Let us know when it's pulled, and once it's pulled, we'll be okay to kill. Alright, thank you. We're good to kill the Reaver. Looks like we got plenty of time left on the timer. Alright, just go up the steps to the west. And then you can fall straight over the edge once you get up to the top. And that big crystal with skeletons hanging from it is the doomsday device. That's the big bomb that's going to blow us all up if we run out of time or don't get the puzzle right. So here you just want to sit tight and kill air elementals that spawn when we do an incorrect solution. And so the way the puzzle solver works is it tells you what to do for the first entry, and then after that it's just an algorithm. You just do what it says. So I'm not really going to explain how that works, but you can play around with it on your own. So it's blue, blue, green, green, and they're numbered for people with colorblind. So 1, 1, 2, 2. Go ahead and pull. Okay, and so for what it's worth, you can see that 2 black dots have lit up in the upper left-hand corner. In the solution, or the puzzle solution, or the puzzle solver, it'll ask like how many black dots and how many white dots there are. And the black dots mean there are 2. For each black dot, it means there's 1 correct and it's in the right location. If a dot is white, it means it's a correct color / number, but it's in the wrong location. In this case, we got 2 black and no white. So you can see the solution says 1, 2, 3, 5 now is the next one to try. Go ahead and pull. After each solution that you try, you have to pull the lever on the left to register that. So we got 1 black and 2 white now, and so you just enter that into the solver, and it just continues with its algorithm and tells you the next solution to try out. One, 2, 5, 6. Go ahead and pull. So there's 3 white now, so we got 3 of them correct, but they're all in the wrong location. One, 1, 2, 4. Pull. Now we have 2 black. So that says this one will solve. So as long as you didn't make a mistake in entering the solutions in game, then this should be the answer. 5, 1, 2, 5. Alright, that should do it. Go ahead and pull. And that's Reaver's fate, folks. Go back into the main room and get your loot. Congrats on your first completion for those of you it's your first time. And if you have any questions about the raid, feel free to ask. You're going to be doing Fall of Truth teaching raid next too. That is an epic raid. If you're flagged for that and you want to stay, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, thanks for that. It's much clearer to me now.
Oh, cool. I'm glad. And by the way, all the loot in here is upgradable. You need a seal of the Storm Reaver to upgrade it. And that seal drops from this chest here. I think you can get it from turn-ins in Gianthold now. Does anybody know if you can? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, actually, you know what? This raid may be the only way to get the seal. If you're new, I'd recommend that you roll on those seals, because you might want to get something out of here and upgrade it later.